Okay, stand by.
Just about 4:45, and take a look at this viral video from La Junta in southeastern Colorado. All right,
They want to do politically hard,
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you for stopping by. Today, I got my good friend Steezo for life with me. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. How about you?
Good. So we're gonna do the second review of Investigation Alien from George Knapp. So this episode was out of the first two, definitely stronger than the last. It takes place in Colares, Brazil, and it was actually a new story for me. I hadn't heard these ones. They specifically covered an event in regarding a UFO that hovers above a lady, and she basically claimed that it was attacking her. I guess she has this mark, and if you guys are interested in this like topic or want to get more detail on it, just go watch the episode. We're not really going to pull up any of the actual uh photos or whatnot, but they do present it in the episode itself. She had right over her, I think it was her left breast, a mark. And I really don't know how I feel about the show yet. So I'm only 2 episodes in. um it just feels, it feels a little bit overproduced. I'm used to podcasts. I'm not really liking the format of how this stuff is being explained, but specifically with episode two, I thought it was interesting. They talk a little bit about how the military were, in this episode. They were, the military was giving out weapons to civilians because they were that scared about this situation. Um, and yeah, I don't know. Whole like At the end of the day, I would probably give that episode like a 6 out of 10, and that's being generous. I'm only giving it a six because again, it's well produced and the story was like for the most part new. Um, but I don't know, Steezo, what were your thoughts about it, man?
Yeah, so I will agree 100%. Episode two is definitely stronger than one. One dealt with a lot about cattle mutilations and stuff, which, if you've been researching this subject for any period of time, that's old news. And there was nothing really new that we learned from that episode.
Hmm.
So I kind of was disappointed in that. You know, the only thing that was really new was the fact the locations of where those cattle mutilations were happening at.
Right.
It's still the same song and dance, right? Episode two, that story in Brazil, I had heard of that one before. I had watched, man, I think it was about 2 years ago. I had watched another video, but it was like a quick story. I don't even think because they were bouncing around between um, close encounter stories.
Hmm.
That one briefly explained. They showed some pictures that I saw in this video too of some of the older pictures of where they had the burn marks and stuff like that. And but the actual story about how it basically frightened an entire village, and the military, came in and stuff, and like you said, handed gave the villagers weapons to combat and fight this. And it was going on for some time and got really peaked out. And then later on in the episode, you find out that there's still issues today where people are afraid because they're seeing stuff and all that. But yeah, the peak of it back then, when I can't remember the dates when it happened, it was a lot of people were leaving the town. They were ditching, moving out of the area and stuff. A lot of people moved out of the area.
Yeah, and I actually find it. I find a lot of parallels between this and the Virginia case that James Fox did, because they mentioned that a lot of the information was sent to the CIA. And if you're privy to the James Fox story, that ends with the U.S. taking the alleged bodies. Um, now, if this is true, I'm I think it's funny, right? Like the
Right.
U.S. tends to kind of like we do best. We stick our fingers or our noses where they have no business being, right? And then
Mhm.
kind of taking
Exactly.
over.
Mhm.
So I thought that was kind of a cool part about it. It's yeah, all in all, I thought the episode was well done. But again, it's just there is a decent amount of just it's overproduced, and I'm not really it might be a bias to I don't to documentaries or docuseries in general, and that I just don't really like them that much. I'd be more interested to see George Knapp get sat down and talk about it in full depth with these individual stories. But all in all, I don't think it was a horrible episode. Um, any last thoughts, Stezo, before we wrap this one up?
No, I mean, I think, like I said, that episode 2 of this series was, if you never see anything about before about that Casey 4, there was some new information for you. But
Hmm.
all in all, at least through the first 2 episodes of this series, which I was looking forward to, I'm with you as far as like there was. I'm a little disappointed in the fact that I feel like it's just rehash of stuff
Hmm.
that we've already, and it's basically been rewrapped and spun around and stuff
Right.
in a different way. I did finish the series, so you haven't, but there's a few things in there that was new to me. But overall, it's going to be one of those series that was like, oh wow, I was expecting more.
Yeah, and just to kind of close it out, I find it I find it pretty, interesting that a lot of UFO stories in the Americas happen in the southern hemisphere of the Americas, right? South America, Central America, um, Brazil, Mexico, uh, Puerto Rico. Like you get a lot of different stories coming out from those areas. So that's something that I kind of like. I like that they touch on, right? And then also I felt like at the end when they brought up the jellyfish, it just and we'll cover this in the next review, but like you had said, they're kind of recycling and rehashing a lot of like information that's already known, and I wish they kind of just focused a little bit more on some new topics, right?
Mm.
Um, but anyway, thank you everyone for stopping by. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed our conversation tonight. And you can catch us on the next video later.
Later.